add to their win or loss column as they take on number 2 Texas.
And we look at the facility that takes care of all the student athletes at CU.
And will volleyball get their first win in the Big 12?
CU Sports Mag now. Hello and welcome to CU Sports Mag. I'm Matthew Seawick alongside Leslie Fox. This week's Family Weekend in Boulder.
Yeah, that's right. And the Buffs sure had their work cut out for them as they took on number 2 Texas. So let's take a look at those highlights. The Longhorn, arguably the second coolest mascot in the Big 12, behind the Buffalo, of course. We jump straight into the second quarter. Buffs up 7-3. Longhorns ball at the 17. Cole McCoy sacked by Marcus Burton, and he fumbles, recovered by Jimmy Smith, who takes it to the 6-yard line after a Colorado penalty of Cody Hawkins at the 11. He looks and easily finds his 6'5" tight end Ryer Gear for the TD. Puts Colorado at 14-3. What a lead. Going in now, it's 2nd and 6 at the 46 for Colt McCoy, whose pass is incomplete to Marcus Godwin for a 7-yard gain. But the Buffs' outside linebacker Douglas Rippey was injured and would leave the game. Believe me, the Buffs would miss him in the second half as Texas finally breaks Colorado's D. Third quarter now, Matt Galalo's punt is blocked, and it's Ben Wells who recovers and runs it in for a Texas touchdown. Puts them up 14-17. Longhorns celebrate as they finally take their first lead of the game. Now 2nd and 7 for the real McCoy, who's looking to expand his lead, but his pass is intercepted by Jalil Brown at the Texas 15. Matt, can the Buffs retake control of the game?
No, Leslie, it's still a close game, but not for long. Here we have the pass. It's an interception by Earl Thomas at the Texas 8. He's going to take it all the way down the field with no problem, and that's going to be a Texas touchdown, 24-14 Texas. Another drive for the Buffs. It's 3rd and 17. Hawkins throws up the field, of course, for another interception, now by Blake Gideon. Luckily this time it was returned for no gain. Now we're into the fourth quarter. We have backup quarterback Tyler Hansen is going to be put into the game. After one drive, Texas is going to return a punt for a touchdown. Let's take a look at that. And down at the Colorado, Sam Acho charges at Hansen, no blocks, rips him down. Buffs can't make anything. Texas ball drives back for their last touchdown. Final score, Buffs 14, Texas 38. We have Cody Hawkins made 6 for 18 for the night. Let's take a moment and look back at the supposed future of Tyler Hansen.
It looks like quarterback Tyler Hansen's going to have a second go at what he tried to do last year. The team announced plans this week to have Hansen attempt to redshirt the season again.
We'll throw that out the window because the true sophomore has been named the starter for this Saturday's game against the Kansas Jayhawks. Hansen burned his red shirt for the second time in his career when he entered the Texas game early in the fourth quarter. Last year as a freshman, Hansen burned his first red shirt in an attempt to jumpstart the offense against Kansas State. Although Hansen has been named the starter for this week, Coach Dan Hawkins has not ruled out the possibility of also playing Cody Hawkins in certain situations.
I thought we did a great job on offense. Unfortunately, we had the one play that hurt us really bad and the 2 special teams play, although we blocked a field goal. So it's always tough because you're thinking, wow, you got the number 2 team on the ropes on the road, and you'd like to finish that deal. But those days are coming. Did you see where he was on the first touchdown pass? Never saw it. He was laying on his back. And he made some great plays in the game, and he got hit a bunch. There are very few throws we made that he wasn't under duress. And really on that play, it was kind of a combination of things, too, I think, where I just expect more of him in that situation. If that's Tyler, I probably don't take him out. If it's Bernard, I probably don't take him out. But when you're Cody, I expect him to see that. When Tyler was the backup, he was prepared and ready to go. And, if Cody's the backup, he'll be prepared and ready to go.
The Buffs and Longhorns weren't the only teams in the Big 12 starting their play. So let's take a look at some of the games from around the league.
That's right. Our first Big 12 game is 16th-ranked Kansas versus Iowa State. Now we have some volleyball here. We're going to be taking a look at the 16th-ranked Kansas against Iowa State. They played on Saturday. The first drive, Iowa State, is 3rd and goal. Alexander Robinson drives in for a touchdown, leading Iowa State up by 6. Missed the extra point, though. Second quarter, Jayhawks came back up 13-12. 3rd and goal, and quarterback Todd Reesing rushes 5 yards for a touchdown, making it 20-12 after the extra point. Third quarter, Cyclones down by 5. The pass is complete to Marquise Hamilton for 40 yards. And next play, we have Austin Arnaud fights back, running in a touchdown for himself with a 2-point conversion. That makes Iowa State up now 23-20. But the Jayhawks won't give up. Here, our next play will have Reesing pass to Desmond Briscoe, the second of the night for a touchdown, making the Jayhawks in the lead 34-30. Kansas does make another touchdown, making it 41-30 in the fourth quarter. We have a Cyclones touchdown by Darius Darks right here. And that will make it 41-36. Can they catch the lead? They're down by 5. It's 4th and 9. Arnaud scrambles, passes down the field, but it is going to be incomplete. Kansas will win 41-36.
Number 21 Nebraska Cornhuskers versus 24th ranked Missouri Tigers, driving straight into the fourth quarter. Tigers up 12-0. Zach Lee at the 44, pass complete to Niall Powell for a 56-yard TD. Finally gets the Huskers on the board. Now, it's going to be Tigers ball in the 21, but Blaine Gabbert's pass is intercepted by Najankan Sue, who brings it to the 18. Huskers go on to take the lead and win 27-12. Final score. Former Buff and Colorado All-American defensive back Cullen Bryant died Tuesday at the age of 58. He was a standout player for Eddie Crowder's early 1970s teams. In 1972, Bryant led the Buffs with 43 tackles and 7 interceptions, which was a school record for the most interceptions in a single season by a Buff. He played 13 seasons in the NFL, 11 with Los Angeles Rams and 2 with the Seattle Seahawks. A memorial service has not yet been set. And after the break, we have Kylie and Anna on our double team set with some football analysis.
And some women's volleyball. Did they end their 7-game losing streak? Find out after the break.
Back to Sports Mag.
And we're going to toss it over to our double team that will take a look at the Texas game as well as the upcoming Kansas game. Take it away.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Double Team. I'm Kylie Horner, sitting alongside of Anna Zook. So Anna, let's talk a little Buffs football, specifically starting with their game against Texas last week. They were a tough team, but I feel like we really held our own, especially in the first half.
You know, I definitely agree. The Buffs defense, they held strong against the number 3 ranked team in the nation. And so Colton McCoy, he is the quarterback for the Longhorns, and he threw 1 touchdown the entire game, compared to Hawkins, who threw 2. The Buffs defense was all over the place. They forced 2 turnovers and blocked a field goal attempt, making the score 14-10 going into halftime. So the first and second quarter we played strong, but going in the second half, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, man, it's a shame because we were so strong in the beginning. I think defense really played good throughout the entire game. I think what happened after the Buffs came out of the locker room, they kind of had the same game plan. And Texas, on the other hand, decided to kind of switch it up, which kind of threw the Buffs for a loop. And I feel like that ultimately led them to their victory. But we also have to see where our players fell short. I think that special teams actually gave up a touchdown off a punt return. And then Hawkins had 2 interception passes, which contributes to the total of his 9 throughout the entire season. So he's not looking too good statistically. And I think Coach Hawkins really needs to just sit him down, make it clear that he needs to step up his game, or they're going to have to throw in Hansen, which is what they did, removing his red shirt.
Yeah, and you know what? We're seeing the exact same pattern we saw last year with Hansen. He's planning to redshirt, yet he comes in almost halfway through the season. When he came in the second half against the Longhorns, he threw a total of 5 passing yards, yet only 3 of them were complete. So that shows that he didn't contribute a whole lot to the game. So I'm thinking, what is Coach Hawkins thinking? This might not be the smartest move, considering the fact that he didn't contribute a whole lot. On the flip side, though, this could be a really smart move, considering the fact that Hansen is more mobile and is more comfortable running ball than Cody.
No, that's definitely right. And but Texas is in the past, so we have to take a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about Kansas versus Iowa State.
Americans drink 400 million cups of coffee.
The swing of things, talking about Hansen and Hawkins striving for the spotlight as quarterback.
That's right, and as you probably know, Hansen was announced starting quarterback for the game this Saturday against Kansas, so that should be very interesting. I think that could determine a win or loss depending on whether he steps up or falls short of even Hawkins, so we'll have to see. But we also have to factor in KU's performance against Iowa State last weekend. I don't think their defense played too good.
Their defense did not play good at all. The Jayhawks barely won that game 41-36, and they surrendered a total of 512 yards.
I know, that's pretty disappointing for them.
Yeah.
But then again, they did win, so we can't be too harsh. And I think Todd Reesing, their head quarterback, really carried the team. I mean, 4 touchdown passes, that was just amazing. And I think he's definitely arguably one of the best in the league alongside of Colt McCoy, and they could definitely both be up for the Heisman Trophy.
I definitely agree. And Reesing pretty much has bragging rights over CU. He knows how to win. He knows how to carry his team to winning. And the past 3 games that they played against CU, they have won. So, but you also have to take into account the previous teams that they have played. None of them have been in the Big 12 with the exception of Iowa State. So, yeah, their record says that they're undefeated, but is it really saying that much? Have they really been challenged?
No, you make a very good point. I mean, if you look at CU, that we have lost 4 of our 5 games, but we've also had some really strong teams. I mean, nationally ranked Texas, and then we had West Virginia. Like, they were very good teams. So you have to take that into consideration. And also, I think that Kansas's head coach, Mangino, seems like he has faith in his team, or at least Reesing.
Yeah, you know, Mangino might have faith of Reesing, but when he's saying coming out of the Iowa State game that they need to work on their defense, he also has to take into consideration that Hawkins isn't the starting quarterback.
That's right, and I think that's all we have time for today, but make sure you make it to the game on Saturday. Kickoff is at 5. Bring your parents, and I'm Kylie Horner.
I'm Anna Zuck. Thanks for watching Double Team. We'll send it back over to the desk.
Thanks, guys. This past Wednesday, the women's volleyball team got its first Big 12 win of the season against Texas Tech. The Buffs ended their 7-game losing streak by winning the match in the 4th set, 25-17. This match was Coach Kritza's first win in the Big 12 Conference. After losing the 2nd set, the Buffs rebounded with key offensive plays. Rosie Steinhaus had 16 kills, 11 digs, and 5 blocks in a dominating performance, while Kira Schroeder recorded her 2nd double-double of her career. They hope to keep up the momentum as they prepare to play number 22 ranked Texas A&M this Saturday in College Station, Texas.
On the heels of the Colorado women's volleyball victory, one player stood out, Kara Schrader. Schrader had 15 kills, 12 digs, recording her 2nd double-double of the season. This superb performance has qualified Schrader for our CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
It's actually a big relief. We deserve that win. We come in here every single day, work for like 3.5 hours, 4 hours, video, lifting. We really deserved it. I mean, it feels great. Tonight, I think we just had a really good idea that we needed to execute our system, and our system is going fast. We're such a small team that we need to go fast in the Big 12. So, I mean, getting our passes up, and Megan Sear did a great job coming in and setting, and Caitlin Burkett's hurt, but she did a really good job, like, executing her system, going fast, and that helped a lot. So. Hi, I'm Kara Schrader, CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
Sweet. For the ITA Mountain Regional in Las Vegas, a trio of CU women's tennis players have been a sure bet this week. But Thursday's singles have only 2 players advancing. All players had advanced to the round of 32 with straight set victories.
Excuse me. I'll continue that reader for Matt. Melissa Esposito won their single matches, moving to the round of 16 on Friday. The 2 also won their double matches as partners. Their teammate Monica Maluski lost her single match, but will move forward in doubles with Abby Probert on Friday. Maluski's last single win moves her into 13th on the school's all-time wins with 73. Now, 2 cross-country buffs outran the herd this weekend, earning Big 12 Runner of the Week titles. At the Fort Hays State Open in Hays, Kansas, junior Laura Thuyet set a course record, finishing the 5K race in 17 minutes and 5 seconds, a whopping 70 seconds before the runner-up. This is the 2nd week in a row that CU women have been named Runner of the Week. Representing the men's team, redshirt freshman Joe Bossard won his second race as a Buffalo, finishing the 8K in 24 minutes and 9 seconds. These breakneck Buffs, along with their teammates, will test out their championship course this Saturday at the NCAA Pre-Nationals in Thea, Indiana.
Now that you know the Buffs volleyball team won their first Big 12 match, saving them from falling to 0-8, it's time for this week's trivia question. When was the last time that CU volleyball team started their Big 12 conference play at 0-7? We'll have the answer later in the show.
Soccer took on Mizzou and Kansas. We'll see how they did after a short break.
And also find out how CU athletes avoid injuries with some professional help, of course.
Being strong is cool because it is. Do you think taking steroids is cool? It's not. Steroids may make you big and strong now, but actually will hurt you in the long run. Are these your goals? Liver tumors, shrinking of testicles, infertility, baldness, development of breasts, paranoid jealousy, and jail. Unless you want those side effects, don't do steroids. Steroids.
The swing of things, talking about
Last Friday, but came up short against the Tigers. The Buffs kept up their defense, but overtime proved to be too much, and the Tigers scored 36 seconds after overtime began. Freshman Shay Marshall nearly scored 35 minutes into the game after taking a pass from her sister Nikki Marshall. However, the shot was blocked, and the game remained a scoreless tie. The team said they were upset by the referee calls made during overtime, but the shot was deemed a goal, and the Buffs went home defeated 1-0.
Despite their loss to Mizzou, the women's soccer team bounced back and defeated the Kansas Jayhawks 1-0 in Lawrence. The game's only goal was made by freshman Erin Bricker, whose first career goal ended the Buffs' 5-game losing streak on the road. The women's soccer team has a record of 8-7 overall. The Buffs will begin a Texas road trip. They will face the Aggies on next Friday and the Texas A&M, and also have a Sunday showdown in Austin against the Longhorns.
Sports are a form of exercise and entertainment, but many overlook the proper care that goes into an athlete's body. Last week I got behind the scenes with the sports medicine department here at CU. Whether it's a tackle, spike, sprint, or dribble, the Buffs athletics rely on student athletes to compete in one of the toughest Division I conferences. Inside the Dow Ward Athletic Center, the sports medicine facility specializes in the prevention and treatment of sports injuries, keeping athletes' worries to only the scoreboard.
Really, the sports medicine department is just a great resource because there's so many different people, that can, they just know what they're talking about. And then there's also great equipment, the ice baths and just lots of stretching equipment.
The human body is very fragile, and to the extent athletes push themselves, preventative precautions are necessary to ensure safety on and off the field.
The athletic training staff ourselves provide a number of services: injury evaluation, recognition, treatment, rehabilitation, education.
But from minor to extensive injuries, a stable recovery is essential for an athlete to be back on their feet again.
Starting an athlete back into the swing of things too early, it's really detrimental to their rehab, and they can actually hurt themselves worse than they did the first time.
That's where an average of 300 feet of athletic tape a day comes in. Taping injury-prone areas helps to prevent injuries and also not prolong current ones.
Trainers do a great job of just, for specific injuries, taking care of what you need, and everybody's individuals are different, so it depends on the person.
For more than 300 student athletes, the sports medicine facility keeps them healthy, stretched, and ready for game day. So when the pressure is on, the crowd cheers for the success on the field. Matthew Seawick, CU Sports Mag. Outside of Boulder, the trainers also travel with the teams, giving the athletes quality care wherever the team may go.
Inclement weather was not the only thing to surprise Mackenzie Invitational. The men's golf team also turned some heads when they finished third overall, beating number 2 Oregon State. The weather cut the tournament short, but it didn't slow down the Buffs senior Justin Bradgett. He continued his stellar play, and his performance rubbed off on sophomores Kevin Kring and Sebastian Hiesel. The Buffs placed 3 inside the top 20, with Bradgett finishing the tourney tied for 8th. Hiesel tied for 6th, and Kring tied for 13th. They'll be taking some time off before returning to the course in November.
Chances are, if you go to CU, your life basically revolves around the ski season. But who reigns supreme, the skiers or boarders? We sent out Rose Heafy to get the student opinion for this week's Man on the Street.
After getting our first snowfall, the CU campus is all abuzz with excitement for the start of the ski season. But everyone wonders where the best slopes are, and there's always the everlasting argument between skiers and snowboarders. So I went to the UMC to get the lowdown. Which is better, skiing or snowboarding?
I'd have to say snowboarding.
Snowboarding, definitely. You could tread better.
Skiing by far. Skiing is the best.
What's your favorite resort to go in Colorado?
In Colorado, I like Copper and Breck.
Copper, for sure. So what's your favorite brand to use when skiing or snowboarding?
Salmon when I'm skiing, Never Summer when I'm snowboarding.
It sounds cliche, but I really like Burton.
I currently ride for Forefront skis, so I like to use Forefront.
Is it better if I don't even remember? Would you ever ditch school to go boarding?
Yes, definitely.
I ditched school last Tuesday to go skiing.
Are you kidding? No. Have you ever fallen off the ski lift?
Yes, many times, actually.
Yes, several times.
Actually, I tore my MCL last year. Tore my MCL, bruised my femur. I did like 2 other things to my knee as I was coming off the lift. So yes.
Skier, snowboarder, or even the occasional extreme sledder. CU students just can't wait to hit the slopes and shred some powder. I'm Rose Heafy, CU Sports Mag.
When we get back, we'll have that trivia answer for you.
And as we're well into the fall season, Kylie will give us the upcoming weather.
The basketball team can breathe a little easier this season with the return of their talented junior guard, Whitney Houston. Houston was forced to wear her red shirt during the entire 2008-2009 season after suffering a significant knee injury in the fall workouts. However, riding the bench later proved to be the least of her concerns. Shortly before Christmas of that same year, Houston lost her father to lung cancer. Just months later, her grandfather passed away. And as if that wasn't enough, she lost her close friend in a car accident. Her endless love for the game and the support of her team has gotten Houston back on her feet.
Now, before we give away the answer of the trivia question, we'll remind you just what the question was. When was the last time that CU volleyball team started the Big 12 Conference at 0-7? And the answer? In 2007, they started 0-14, something they guaranteed not to repeat this year.
Now, with Parents' Weekend here, I think everyone's kind of hoping for some good weather.
That's right, so we'll take it to Kylie to see how this weather will shape up.
Thanks, guys. Now it's family weekend this weekend here in Boulder, so let's see what you and your family have in store for this weekend as far as the weather goes. As you can see here, we do have a high-pressure system over Colorado, which is great news. That means we aren't going to be having any rain or snowstorms or anything at all. But if you look up here in the northwest, this is a cold front that could potentially sweep through to Colorado. I'm not too worried about that for this weekend, but possibly if your family's staying till about Monday, Tuesday time, it is going to be getting a little bit colder. Tell them to throw on an extra jacket. But let's see where in the country your family might be from and how it might compare temperature-wise. So as you can see here, 30s and 40s, that's the purples and blues, excuse me. And if your family's from the California region, Southwest, Arizona possibly, it's a lot warmer there. Their temperatures are in the 60s and 70s right now. So make sure that they know to definitely be a little bit warmer, especially if they're heading out to the game this weekend. Now, if you're looking at Boulder specifically, you're hanging out in town this weekend, we do have great weather in store for you. Like I said, that high-pressure system is going to give us just a few scattered clouds. Saturday, it's going to be sunny all day. Maybe go for a hike in the morning. Temperatures aren't going to be dipping below freezing at night, which is great news. No frost in the morning for us. Now, if you and your family have tickets to our game on Saturday, that is at 5 p.m. against the Kansas Jayhawks. And as you can see, the temperatures aren't looking too bad. My prediction's at around 5 o'clock. It is going to be around the 60s, low 60s, definitely dipping lower as that sun heads down. So make sure that you're prepared. Maybe bring that extra foam finger to keep maybe one hand warm and then a glove for the next one. Now, if you want to head up to the slopes this weekend, Arapahoe Basin is open, and they do have 6 inches of recent snowfall. On top of that, they have an 18-inch man-made base, and as well as some great temperatures, right around the 50s, maybe dipping into the 30s, probably not, though. They do only have 2 runs open in one terrain park, so as you can see with their trail map right here, the lift is only going to bring you right here. You can do 1 run or head over to the terrain park down that way. So I encourage you all to head out this weekend, get over to that ski slope, and enjoy the weekend.
Thanks a lot, Kylie, for that positive weather forecast. I know everyone here at Sports Mag is anxiously waiting the ski season to start.
That's right, and they're just going to keep opening up from here. It's definitely going to be a very cold, snowy season, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we had a pretty cold, first part of the week, so I'm looking forward to the start of this weekend and everything. But that's all the time we have. For Kylie Burse, Matthew Sewick, and Leslie Fox, that's all the time for Sports Mag.
Thank you.